Hey, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about two things that you probably don't hear in the same sentence very often: spirituality and hard scientific data. We're going to dive into what science is actually discovering about the real measurable effects that spiritual practices can have on our bodies and our minds. And what the science is finding, well, it might just change the way you think about both. Let's get into it. So let's kick things off with a debate that's, been around forever. It's that tension so many of us feel between the world of verifiable scientific fact and the world of personal faith. So when you put them head to head, science versus religion, who comes out on top? Well, here's the thing. Science can't actually answer that. The existence of a higher power isn't something you can prove or disprove in a lab. Which means, from a purely logical point of view, both hardcore belief and hardcore disbelief, they both take their own leap of faith. But things get really interesting when we stop thinking of it as a fight. Maybe it's better to think of it like this. Science is absolutely amazing at telling us how the universe works, right? Down to the smallest particle. Religion and spirituality, they've always been about tackling the big why questions. Why are we here? What's our purpose? See? They're not even competing for the same answers. Okay, so let's shift gears from philosophy to actual physiology. Because, once scientists kind of set aside the does God exist question and started asking a different one, what happens to the people who are part of these spiritual communities, the data they found was, wow, just stunning. Let's start with a really big number. Multiple long-term studies have shown that if you regularly participate in a spiritual or religious community, you're looking at a nearly 30% reduction in your risk of dying from anything. I mean, think about that. That is a bigger effect on your lifespan than a lot of medications or lifestyle changes we hear about all the time. And it doesn't stop there. We're talking a 25% lower risk of dying from some of the biggest killers out there, like cancer and heart disease. And this isn't just, a feel-good placebo thing. Something real, something measurable is happening here that's actually protecting our physical health. And it's not just about living longer either. The data also points to a huge boost to our mental and emotional health, lower rates of anxiety and depression, and a much bigger sense of what psychologists call flourishing. That amazing feeling that your life has a real purpose and meaning. Okay, so what in the world is going on here? How is this even possible? Well, it leads to this really cool idea. What if we started looking at spiritual traditions, not as just a set of beliefs, but as a kind of ancient, super refined technology built for the human mind? So what is a spiritual technology? Think of it like a toolkit, really. It's a whole system of practices, rituals, stories, community gatherings that have been field tested for literally thousands of years, all designed to help us deal with the hard parts of being human and find a real sense of well-being. And this technology usually works in 3 key steps that build on each other. First, you've got shared rituals. These get everyone's emotions and actions in sync. Then that synchronization creates this really powerful social bond. And finally, all of this happens inside a bigger framework, a story that gives us meaning when life gets tough. And you can see this in the specific practices, right? Meditation, for example, is scientifically shown to build our capacity for compassion. Singing together in a group, it literally releases hormones that make us feel bonded to each other. Even something like a structured morning ritual, it gives us a crucial support system that helps us build resilience when we need it most. Okay, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking right now. This all sounds great, but do I really have to believe all the stories to get these benefits? And the answer science is finding is honestly one of the coolest parts of this whole thing. So here it is, and this is where it gets compelling for everybody, no matter what you believe. The evidence is pretty clear. You don't actually have to literally believe in God to get all of these psychological and social benefits. Because what really matters is the doing. The magic is in the participation. It's in the act of showing up, of connecting with other people, of going through the rituals together. The power is in the practice, not just the intellectual belief. So think about what this means. It's huge. If the benefits are in the technology, the community, and the rituals, then they don't have to be locked away inside a traditional church or a temple. You can see this deep human need for meaning and connection popping up everywhere. And that's exactly what's happening. I mean, sure, traditional religion is still a huge place for this. But so many people are finding that same feeling of community and belonging in yoga studios, in 12-step programs, or even at massive music festivals. Now, it's really important to be clear about this. Just like any powerful tool, this spiritual technology can absolutely be misused. The very same thing that creates such a strong, beautiful bond inside a group can be twisted to create an us versus them mentality, to exclude people who are on the outside. The tool itself isn't good or bad. It all depends on how we choose to use it. There's this ancient phrase that just nails this whole idea perfectly. It says, "We will do, and then we will understand." It's this incredible idea that wisdom doesn't always come from sitting around and thinking about things. Sometimes you have to jump in, you have to do the thing, and only then, through the experience, does the understanding really come. So I'm going to leave you with a question, and it's not some huge, scary, rethink your entire life kind of question. It's much smaller. What is one tiny ritual, maybe a moment of quiet reflection, a walk in the woods without your phone, a call to an old friend, or joining some kind of group activity? What's one small thing you could do this week to connect? Just try it, because what you find might really, really surprise you.